Welcome to Help Me Fix My Stitch, where you send me a photograph of your work, a stitch you're having difficulty with, and I can help you fix it. Petra sent me this photograph of her diagonal box stitch, wanting to know how she could improve upon it. The thing that she was particularly worried about was the fact that not all of the stitches are sitting straight. And so I set about trying to help her figure out how to fix it. Diagonal box stitch is one of the stitches in my book Frisian Whitework, and the project that Petra is working on here is the Whitework sampler from that book. The first thing I notice about this stitching is that the top of the line uses tighter tension than the bottom of the line. You can tell that because there are larger holes between the stitches at the top and smaller ones at the bottom. The length of the stitches is shorter at the top and longer at the bottom. So that tells me the tension is tighter at the top and lesser at the bottom. Whenever working a stitch like this diagonal box stitch or say four-sided stitch, anytime that you work with tighter tension, there will be some stitches that will sit diagonally or crooked as compared to if you work with looser tension. And that's just the way that the stitch is worked. It's not a mistake, it just happens when you use tight tension. Another thing that I can notice is that about halfway down the line here, one of the stitches actually comes out in the wrong place, and that has made that stitch look quite crooked too. So going back to Petra's original request, I've just reread it again, and she said that they don't look square, and she wanted to know how to make them look square. Now, if something doesn't look square, it's because of something that's making it not look square. In this case, the stitches are slanting. And so if you want to work this stitch so that all the stitches look square, then you'll need to work it with regular tension. So that's the bottom end of what's shown here, where all the stitches do look square, where none of them are slanting or sloped. If you want, however, to have a pulled thread stitch, which is the top end of what's shown here, you will get some slanting stitches. The little boxes won't look square, and that's just the nature of the stitch when you work it as a pulled thread stitch. Neither of these are right or wrong, they are just different, and many stitches you can work either as a stitch with regular tension, the bottom shown here, or as a pulled thread stitch, the top end here, which has more holes around the stitches. It's a choice that you get to make depending on which look you prefer, whether you like the holey look of the pulled thread stitching or whether you prefer the straight-sided square boxes of the stitch when worked with regular tension. If you would like to learn the method for how to create diagonal box stitch for yourself, I have both left and right-handed instructions in my book Frisian Whitework. If there's a stitch that you're struggling with, send me a clear photograph of the stitch and explain what it is that you're struggling with, and I may be able to make it into a Help Me Fix My Stitch post so that I can help you and others know how to improve upon the stitching of that stitch. You can let me know whether you'd like me to use your name or whether you'd like it to be anonymous. I don't mind either way.